and it's me, Alfred, once again. And I hope you guys, as per usual, been good. And today's, I want to really touch on something very important here, and it's usually people complaining about the type of relationships, especially romantic relationships they are in, the type of romantic relationships that they're getting, right? Excuse me. And one reason, from my observation at least, that I've seen relationships from a man's perspective, for all these men who are always complaining about the type of women they're kind of attracting, right? One main reason is that they do not want to take on that leadership role, right? Men really do not want to take on that leadership role. They do not want to avoiding their masculine leadership role that they're supposed to take on when in just in any relationship, right? Whether it's romantic, whether it's a friendship, whether it's just platonic, whatever relationship that is, men are avoiding the role that they're supposed to be taking, right? And this is why a lot of men are taken advantage of, right? You're going to be taken advantage of if you're not going to lead that relationship. So if you want to lead a relationship, if you want your woman, or if you're in a relationship with your woman, you want her to take you seriously, you want her to basically you want her to take you for your word, to do as you want her to do, right? You have to take on that leadership role. There's no other way. You take the lead. You tell her what is supposed to be happening, that this is supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen this way. Obviously, there's no shortcuts to that. Money cannot buy you leadership. You have to cultivate the type of leadership that you would like to embody, right? Who are you? So that means you have to curve an identity for yourself. Why do you want a relationship in the first place? I see so many people jumping into and I usually even tweet about this. So many people are jumping into relationships, especially romantic relationships, without any sort of plan. You still need a plan. And what do I mean by plan? I'm not saying that you should be strategizing and all that, but what I'm saying is that you should know, first of all, what you want from that woman. If you don't, then what do you expect her, how do you expect her to respond to you if you don't know what you want from her, right? Do you want a short-term relationship? Do you want a long-term? Do you want to lock her down, as people say? Do you want just one-night stands? You have to be able to communicate that to her. That's why it's called relationship. Do you relate to her, right? How do you relate to her? And you cannot really skip that or skip those steps, right? You can't jump straight into a phase where you two are now girlfriend and boyfriend or whatever, or she's your woman, you are her man, whatever. You're his man, basically, whatever. You can't. There's a lot of steps in between, right? And that means that you have to get to know each other. She has to get to know the real you, right? You have to get to know the real her. One thing a lot of people get twisted, they think that once they get the money, then everything else will fall into place. And I'm not really here to argue about the fact that money does play a part. I understand money plays a large part within a relationship, but money is supposed to facilitate things. money is not a substitute for the things that make you relate to her, right? As a man, money will not get her wet, for example, right? Money does not arouse the woman, right? It may get her interested, right? But you are supposed to be able to relate to her first before you start flaunting that money. Money is supposed to facilitate and show that you are able to take care of her. Now, another mistake a lot of people do is that they try and flaunt all that money before actually venting the so-called woman or girl that they're after, and then they cannot see the red flags, you see. So all that will never substitute leadership within that relationship or any relationship at all. Especially if I'm going to speak on these romantic relationships, right, between a woman and a man, you have, whether you like it or not, you have to take the lead. And men these days are not willing to take the lead. They want, you can't even have women take the lead, right? Once a woman is the lead of the relationship, right, then you might as well just call yourself a simp, right? You're just a simp. You want to be taken care of, or you want to be led by a woman, then within a relationship, then forget about you being in charge. Take charge. You have to take charge of things. You have to be able to take charge and tell her what is supposed to be happening. And this, of course, comes after working on yourself. And this channel I usually always emphasize on self-development. Self-development will help you know thyself, know yourself, as you develop yourself into the man that you want to be, right? And that's why people will now be drawn to you. They'll know what you're about and who you are. So now it will be easier for you to lead them towards what you expect them of you, right? If you do not take a leadership role, if you do not embrace those masculine values and principles, then forget about a relationship that's fulfilling, right? Like I said, if you're going to lead with money, and there's really nothing wrong with that. If that's your MO, that's who you are, be about it, but do not expect, if you lead with money, do not even once expect that you are going to get either that respect or that inner value that you think you're going to other people get that do not even need money to attract or be with women, right? And this is exactly where a lot of people get it twisted. They think that money is the only thing that they need. And there's a lot of things in between, right? Like I mentioned, you still have to work on yourself, work on your masculinity, work on your inner self, right? If you're out of shape and you're not healthy, work on your health, work on your mental state, because if you're weak in your mental state, then don't expect women to respect it, because women will test you. The world tests you in itself. So if you're weak, then you'll be easily probably offended, you'll be easily taken out of your element, and then you start complaining like most of the complainers, because you've not built yourself to the person you have to be. And it takes discipline, it takes time. It means that you have to create value, you have to create principles. That's what a man is ultimately or basically supposed to be doing. And then that's when you can now be really out there, doing your thing, and then creating that persona that is ready to lead, right? don't have a lot of leaders these days who can stand on their principles. And this is why we have women complaining all about men, and men complaining. No one is really taking charge. Everyone is just trying to complain, and no one is really taking charge of what, of their own. They're not taking charge of their own destiny and saying, listen, I'm going to change the whole narrative and do it just the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way, you're a man, you're supposed to be doing what men are supposed to be doing, right? Taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, working, making sure that your bills are paid, making sure that things that you are doing are congruent with your principles and your values, right? Taking leadership roles. And leadership roles, I'm not saying you should be in the government leading, you should be a CEO. No, what I'm saying is leading yourself first. Make sure you're leading yourself first. Once you start leading yourself, it means that you are putting your things in order. Everything that you are preparing rather for yourself are in order. And then now you can take that leadership role in relationships. This does not mean that you're not supposed to be mingling with women. You're supposed to be creating those relationships. But don't expect just because you have money, then everything will fall in place. Case in point, a lot of people who actually have lots of money, millionaires and billionaires, are not sustaining or aren't able to sustain their relationships. Why? Because in reality, leading in relationships is totally different from just trying to lead money or just your ego and all that, right? And I suggest that a lot of us men should take much more leadership roles. Lead yourself first, lead the relationships that you are supposed to be leading, right? If you're a parent, make sure that you are leading that family. If you're a father, right, be that father figure that you want to see. If you are in even if you're alone, you're single, make sure you're leading yourself well, good, taking care of yourself, right? And then make sure that the relationships that you want to see, right, start with you lead that relationship. Know what type of relationships you want from whoever you are in contact with, right? You can't just ask someone out and then expect that person to be doing all their logistics, right? Woman can feel that masculine energy. If she feels you, then it's on. If she does not, then hey, you do not have to simp for her. You do not have to force yourself to be in her life. Just keep it moving. Do not have that scarcity mentality. Have an abundance mentality. Know that there's always someone out there, right? Especially if you're working on yourself. If you're working on yourself, then there's really there's no need to be worrying about what women want, what women need. Just keep on working on yourself, and surely the right type of situation will be created, because that's who you want to be. Just be firm on your identity, who you want, what you want in life, and that's it. I mean, it won't be overnight. It cannot be overnight. I don't think that money will shorten that process. It may facilitate a lot of things. Yeah, it may make you help you get in contact to the people that you want or the type of women that you want. However, you still have to do the job. You still have to relate to them. You still have to work. You still have to talk. Now, what's the whole purpose of having a whole lot of money, but you cannot even talk to women, right? Or learn, or you have not learned how to relate, learn how to read the body language, learn how to filter out red flags, what's the whole point? You're just going to get played. And this is what I'm seeing right now. A lot of dudes will get played. Just because you have money does not mean that you won't get played. And I think I'm going to stop there. Create that identity, the masculine identity, your frame, your principles, your values, and stop thinking that there's shortcuts to relationships. Stop thinking that you do not have to work on yourself. You still have to. You have to be developing yourself as per usual. And I'm going to be preaching all this. I'm going to be preaching this every time. You have to develop yourself. You have to improve yourself. Self-improvement, you cannot escape self-improvement. Knowledge, you cannot escape the right knowledge, self-improving. Otherwise, what will happen? You will get passed by the next man who is actually improving his game, improving himself, improving his skills. So you need those skills, you need to improve yourself in a regular basis. You don't have to do it every single day, but making sure that you're doing something that will improve your life, improve your situation each and every time. And that's the way it is. It's a curse and blessing in life, improving, right? It's tough, but you still have to really, it's really tough, right? But you still have to do it. So with that said, I'm going to stop there, and till next time, peace.